Taiwan has become the center of global attention for the last few years. As the world's largest manufacturer of semiconductors and other important technologies, it holds strategic significance for the global powers. But for this technological giant, 2024 may prove to be the most crucial year yet. Some political experts claim that China and the US could go to war over Taiwan. With Taiwan now becoming a flashpoint between the two superpowers and soon to be led by a president that is pro-independence, let's see how 2024 is likely to play out for Taiwan. But first, let's see some historical background and the latest developments. After World War II and the defeat of Japan, the ongoing civil war between the nationalist Kuomintang and the Chinese Communists resumed. While the Communists eventually won control of the mainland, the nationalists fled to Taiwan to set up their own independent government. That means China got sorta split into two governments: the Republic of China, named by Taiwan, and the People's Republic of China, named by mainland China. Both rival governments held the claim that they were the true government of China. To complicate matters further, the US, not being a big fan of communist ideology, threw its support behind Taiwan. That is the reason China was not recognized by the US, and Taiwan garnered international recognition even by the United Nations. Nevertheless, even with US support, Taiwan suffered a major blow from the United Nations in the 1970s, when the United Nations confirmed the representatives from China as the only lawful representatives to the United Nations. And it is from here that we find many political and territorial disputes getting started. For decades, China has questioned the status quo in Taiwan. China claims that there is only one China, and Taiwan is part of it. The UN decision certainly legitimized that claim, emboldening the communist government. In a bid to resolve the issue, consensus was signed between the Chinese Communist Party and Taiwan's Kuomintang Party in 1992 about the status quo of the two states. Yet rather than offer solutions, it created more problems. An interesting point in this scenario is that the KMT party that ruled Taiwan then didn't endorse an independent Taiwan and called for strong ties with Beijing. However, the other major party in Taiwan, the Democratic Progressive Party, which is now in power, has long voiced its opposition to a one-China policy. In any geopolitical scenario, the US as the global hegemon play a crucial role. In Taiwan's case, it is also true. Since 1979, the US has had formal diplomatic relations with China. At the same time, the US government cut diplomatic ties and revoked its mutual defense treaty with Taiwan. But the US manipulates the whole world through this stance because it has an unofficial relationship with Taiwan and continues to sell military equipment. In return, it benefits from being able to project its power right at China's doorstep. The US agenda is simple. It wants to back Taiwan and to prepare itself to such an extent to deter China's growing threats to peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait and the larger South China Sea. Now coming to the main headline, why is 2024 the most important year for Taiwan? There are many reasons behind it. First of all, public opinion matters in shaping the internal and external policies of a state. For Taiwan, it has largely been true. The Democratic Progressive Party has won the 2024 elections. New President Lai Ching-te's policies have been pro-independent and reflect a disregard for mainland China's influence on the state. Frankly speaking, Lai Ching-te's victory means China's aspirations to unify Taiwan with the mainland won't be realized. Some reports claimed that China interfered in the elections by sending out military aircraft ships and balloons across the Taiwan Strait, ostensibly to discourage the Taiwanese from voting the pro-independent Democratic Progressive Party. China also termed the new president of Taiwan, Lai Ching-te, the destroyer of peace. Moreover, China has also called the January 13th elections the choice between peace and war, and also conducted military exercises along the Taiwan Strait and ramping up misinformation campaigns online against Taiwan. Not only this, China also put some economic sanctions and an embargo on some items, like fruits and fish being imported from the state. China's stance has been very clear. If Taiwan nullifies the unification, then it will have to bear the consequences. Any ruling party with a sovereign Taiwan mandate will be a potential threat to one China policy. That's why Taiwan's election matters so much to China and global superpowers. Going further, it is relevant to highlight the technological power of Taiwan and what impacts political interference can have on its economy. Taiwan produces over 60% of the world's semiconductors. If we talk about the most advanced semiconductors, Taiwan's share then rises to over 90%. Whatever happens in Taiwan ultimately has a major influence over the world's economy. So that's the reason why a political shift in the Taiwan Strait could affect this mighty industry. Now it gets clear why China and the US hold their strategic ambiguity when it comes to the Taiwan issue. After the Democratic Party won elections in Taiwan, there are certain future implications for it. First of all, the democratic process in Taiwan will be strengthened, and it will likely attract further Western support for its liberal democracy. This will ensure Taiwan's bloc with major US allies like the European Union and Japan. Secondly, after the establishment of a pro-democratic government in Taiwan, there will always be a threat from China. So closer ties with the US will be maintained by Taiwan to deter Chinese aggression in the Taiwan Strait. As the United States regards Taiwan as a strategic asset, it will use force to help Taiwan if any possible war happens. That means cross-strait relations between both states will get worse. The story is not over yet. There is another interesting development in this scenario, that is about the US elections in November 2024. Whoever becomes president of the US will determine the fate of Taiwan. As a matter of fact, United States govern through popular narrative and the decisions of their heads of government. So a head of government with a popular narrative to counter China's hegemony will appear to be Taiwan's ally. According to the issues I just mentioned, it is obvious that 2024 is going to be a crucial year for Taiwan. This year will shape the economic and political aspects of Taiwan for the coming years. Taiwan has proved itself as a geostrategic asset for China and the US in the region, so its internal chaos and political instability can disrupt its significance for regional and global stakeholders. Do you think 2024 will be a crucial year for Taiwan? What are the positive indicators for Taiwan in 2024? Let us know in the comments section. For more information about such hot topics, check out our next video, and don't forget to subscribe.